Good morning from Quilt and Code. We are having sound issues as usual. There's a lot of fun happening here at the shop, so my husband's getting ready to close the door. We are so glad you are here. We are working on our Wander Lane live, but things are starting to mesh a little bit together in that this morning's Wander Lane has a little bit of hand stitching in it. A little bit, okay, some hand embroidery. You could put as much as you want and as little as you want, of course. But I'm so excited because this morning during our sip and stitch, where we're learning hand embroidery stitches, I learned how to do a running stitch today. And so I am going to use that running stitch to show you some different hand stitches on our bunny Knoll project. And so as you can see, I have gotten everything nice and appliqued down. And so I used the clear thread. I actually used the Aurifil clear thread this morning and was able to get everything stitched down in about 15 minutes. And so like if you're that instant gratification person, then the clear thread is the way you want to go. And I have got another clear thread coming in from Wonderful that I can't wait to get started. I was hoping it would be here today so I could try it, but it's not arrived yet. So I just also wanted to demonstrate to you that with my hand, I'm brand new at this hand stitching stuff, okay, this hand embroidery. And I just wanted to demonstrate, let me get everything else out of the way so you're not, this is my project for Mondays. This is the hanky project, and this is part of my my notebook cover, okay? And so I had wanted to bring in a little bit of extra stuff from my beautiful picture here where we have butterflies and we have flowers and that type of thing. And I just wanted to point out that, oops, just dropped my pen. I wanted to point out that these flowers here, uh-oh, what did I do? Okay, there must be a loose wire somewhere. So these flowers right here, the red ones, are like my third, oh, it's the camera. There we go. Better? Excellent. Okay. So these are my third and fourth flower, okay, using the Lazy Daisy stitch. And I'll never be able to do it again. If you saw it Monday, I did my, my French knot is the black, and I did that on the live on Monday, first try. Today, I did my first try for another one. So I'm getting pretty good at the French knots. The Lazy Daisies are getting much more consistent, as you can see in my white ones, because that was 3 and 4. This was 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so of my flowers anyway. And then if you'll notice here, I did a running stitch instead of a back stitch, and I kind of like it. Now, does this mean that I'm getting better at it because I'm just getting better at it because I'm doing more practice, or am I getting better at it because this is a better stitch for me? And so who knows, you know, we're all going to find stitches that we like and we don't like. And so anyway, I wanted to point out to you that these are getting better and better, and this is only my 8th flower, right? 7th flower. And so just keep that in mind that they're, you know, it doesn't take much. We had a nice hour. I was able to sit in there for an hour and just sew away this morning with my nice hot coffee and nice quiet conversation with some classical music going in the background. And I'm struggling with some neck tension this morning. And so it was just, oh my God, it was so relaxing. And then these little guys, I put a whole bunch more in because they're just fun. So, and then those will continue. I'm going to just continue playing with that. I have not learned how to do a butterfly yet. So once I learn to do a butterfly, I will share that with you on Monday. Okay, cool. So that's Monday's project, the Hanky Live. Join us on Mondays. We are currently on Wander Lane, doing our, I have moved on to Easter. And as you can tell, I even wore, you know, the shirt to go with the project today. So I'm all about chickens. I love my chickens. And so what I didn't realize though was how much like hand embroidery there is on this project. And so this morning I had intended to finish the project, even though last week I was like, I don't know, I think we have, 2 more weeks to go. I was right. I think last week I was seeing it. This week I wasn't seeing it. And so nothing new. I mean, like, yeah, out of sight, out of mind. Okay, so what we're gonna do right this second is pull out my instructions here. So with my Knoll, you get all your templates and everything with this project, okay? And so what I want to pull out right here is I had my placement guide, which is why I think I knew last week this was not going to go as quickly as I thought it would, and was changing things around even last week. And so I have some hand embroidery I want to do on here. I want to give the birds some chicks, some beaks, okay? And I want to give the some greenery here, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a friction pen. And the first thing I wanted to do was I kind of wanted to know where my bottom was. So I want to know where my ground is. So I have a steady line with which to do that. And then the other thing I'm going to do is not only am I going to have my placement guide here, I am also going to have my picture so that I can kind of see where I'm going with this. Now, remember, I turned my chicken around and I did some other stuff. And so my leaves and my stuff are not going to be exactly where the placement guide says they should, but that's okay. It's my project, so I can do whatever I want. So I want to know where my ground is, one, so that my chicky's legs, I can get those in there. And so I can use my ruler guide here. I absolutely can. It might be better if I move the camera this way so that I can actually have it right side up. All right, is that better? Excellent. Okay, so I am lining up. Let me see if I can show you. Here's the bottom of my egg right there. And I know I'm gonna have to cut some stuff down because remember, we're going for a wall hanging that is much like this guy right here, okay? And so I am gonna trim down in the end so that it's on the sides and, or so that it's a little bit smaller and will fit on my little dowel here. Hi, Sue Ellen, how are you? So I am starting with, I am lining up vertically here, horizontally here, okay, with the bottom of this egg. Okay, that sort of gives me a base to sort of know, okay, well, the egg will at least be on the ground, right? It's kind of lopsided on the ground, but it's on the ground. And I'm gonna go ahead and draw a line here just so I know where my ground is, okay? And then I am going to go ahead and freehand in my leaves. And as you can see, sometimes that friction pen, and I feel like the friction pen sort of fades over time. I don't know if you've experienced that as well, Sue Ellen, but even with my hot hand, because my hands tend to be pretty warm and moist, I think even with my hot hand, it sort of gives it it makes it start disappearing. All right, so using both my picture here and my placement guide over here, I am going to start by giving my poor little chick, and let me make sure you can see it. I'm going to give him some feet here. There we go. We got some feet for the chick, already happy. We're going to put, I have to get the eyes in there. If I don't get the eyes in there, it's going to drive me crazy. So we're going to put beads as eyes, but the eyes are there. So the eyes are now ready to go. And then I wanted the beak to kind of come out so that it was going to be talking to my, and I don't know where I want the beak here. It's going to be somewhere here. Might need to be bigger. I wanted the bird to be talking to the butterfly or kissing the butterfly, okay? And so we have here, I was wondering, so the big question this morning was, okay, are the wings on the bottom of the butterfly the bigger ones or the wings on the top? I couldn't picture a butterfly to save my life this morning. And so luckily there is a placement guide here that tells me exactly where the antennae are supposed to go. I'm such a happy camper. I was not yesterday. I am dealing with some shoulder tightness, and I am trying to one. I know I'm dehydrated, so I have been pushing fluids, and so this can't be that long because I know I'm gonna have to run to the bathroom. And but I also feel like this time of year, like I look forward to spring every time. I mean, like, don't we all? Because bringing in that nice warm weather, I think there is something that blooms that causes my immunity system to just go haywire. And that's why I get tight. I do this every year. And so my shoulders yesterday, I could not move my head. I could not move my arms. I could not, it was everything I could do to get through my poor piano lessons with my poor children. And I felt so bad because I was like, I don't have any patience for those children whatsoever. I was just like, would you just play the piano already? Do what I tell you to do so we can get out of here type of thing. And I felt so bad. I really did. I felt so bad, especially with my last one, because he's so cute, but he's so little. And anyway, I felt so bad, but I was like, I have to get out of here because just my back was, I couldn't move. So anyway, so my brother sort of, said, yeah, he feels like maybe I'm onto something. That it is something in the air makes me just tighten up. My immune system goes haywire. So aren't they cute? Man, I'm getting so much character, personality, this guy. I love it. Okay, so I am going to go over here and give, so I don't like, I almost want, I want something here, but I don't need much because I've got my butterfly there. So I'm going to put this here and give myself some, leaves here and that type of thing. Let's see how they kind of end it like that. Oh, I might switch those around. It's okay. And then over here, I don't need much over on this side. It's got plenty over here, and over on my guide too. It says I've got plenty as well. They do put a couple of like little grass things here, and that's kind of neat. I like that. And then over here is where we've got some more, oh, see, there's where my egg will be supported by sort of some grass, I guess, here. And so we've got some grass there, and then a little bit of a thing coming out there. And then, oh yeah, let's do that. Okay, I like that. So this piece of grass is going to sort of curl up, and we'll have some coming out like that. Woo, I like it. Okay, so that sort of gives me, and I'm going to change things as it goes. I will, and I might even add some stuff as we go. But that will give us definitely our head start as to how we want to do this. Okay, I am going to start by teaching you a running stitch. Now remember, I just learned this about an hour and a half ago. So my mother is standing in the wings, and if needed, she will come in here and tell me how it's really supposed to be done. All right, so I'm going to start with this one right here, I think. And I'm going to start, I am only going to do the stems with the running stitch. I am going to do a lazy daisy stitch for the leaves. And so I decided this morning as I was trying to use a hoop, I don't like the hoop. The hoop doesn't allow me to manipulate the fabric like I want to. And so I've decided that I don't like using a hoop. And so if you feel like you need a hoop, oh my gosh, go for it. Oh, okay. First, I also like a longer needle. There's something about me being able to put both fingers, my index finger and my middle finger on them that makes it feel more comfortable to me. But lots of people like my mother like a smaller needle. And so keep that in mind. I'm using 2 strands of embroidery floss. So your embroidery floss comes in a thing like that. It's pretty reasonable. I think we sell it for $106 here, and so they're pretty reasonable. Joann's is going out of business, or they're going for bankruptcy, and so you probably could get them for like 10 cents a piece right now at Joann's. And I'm really heartbroken over that. I mean, like, I cannot express my heartbreak over Joann's going bankrupt. I mean, we can't compete with them. Like, we cannot ever offer you guys 40 or 50% off. They were offering 75% off yesterday. I'm sitting there going, no wonder you're going filing for bankruptcy. Anyway, okay, enough about Joann's. So we have them, all of them, if you need any colors, majority of them anyway. Okay, so I am going to come up from underneath. I will admit, though, that we did go and get a whole bunch of batting. Not batting, polyfill. Right. So I am going to start by, I think, see, it's the first time I've done this, so I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'm going to start by going in and up right there, just so I can get it started. And then I'm going to come back and make sure that my thread's on that side. And I can tell I don't have my glasses on. There they are. And then I've come up a little bit further. And then I'm going to come back to where I went in. And I think I'm doing it a little differently than I did this morning because I'm backwards, but that's okay. I am going backwards, but it's still giving me the same kind of look that I wanted. So that's okay. Yeah, mom's in the background going, nope, you're doing it backwards. The idea here is that I'm keeping the thread always to my left. If you start swapping that thread, you're going to end up having it a little bit more wonky, right? You'll get it more wonky if you, and that's what I did with one of my lazy daisies, this flowers this morning, was I sort of had it, did I twist it? Oh yeah, I twisted it. Sorry, I twisted it. I'm still new at this. I can't talk but look at how quickly this stitch is going. And it sort of gives me this like, I mean, it's not as clean as it was this morning when I could concentrate and stuff, but it sort of gives me a thicker line because it's almost doubled up, and over it that it's sort of, and right, you want to make sure you're staying on the line. And I know I'm doing this wrong, but I will get started better the next time. It's still doing what I wanted it to. But look at how quickly that's going. My back stitches were taking me a little bit longer. And you can tell that my stitches aren't exactly like, I mean, if Rebecca were to get on, she's definitely got a smaller stitch technique than I do. But I'm still new at this, so I'm going to give myself grace. And I'm getting all the way to the top. And I'm going to do one more. All right, so now that I'm at the top, I do want to make sure that I come up at that same, actually I could go down at this point. So I'm going to go down. That way I get my tip. And see, that's not so bad. And who's going to care anyway? Oh, it's not bad at all. I'm cool with it. I'm new at this. I'm going to give myself grace and be like, okay, yeah, I'm good with this. So now I am going to do some lazy daisies. And these are my mom's favorite stitches, and I kind of see why. Because they're fun and pretty. Give myself a little bit more thread there. Very good. Okay, they're fun and sort of have a whimsical. So I'm going to come up. I've gone in the same place that I came up. Okay. And my thread, this is where I got twisted earlier, is that instead of going up this way around the side that my thread was on, I went this way, and it did not look as good as if I were to come up the same side that it's in. And so that's why we say it got twisted. And so now I have that thread like that. And then mom, you know, some people, right? And some people will go just down. I'm going to come up right where I went down, like that. And then, like mom says, don't pull it too tight. And then since I've come up right there, I am just going to go in right there. And this is the side that my thread's on. So I'm going to go on that side and wrap it around. And we noticed this morning that when we were doing our class, we needed more light. The light with these, it's just wonderful. All these camera lighting things, right? I'm telling you, next week we might have to take one of the camera lights in, right? Oh, 2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks. So we're gonna do it again in 2 weeks. It was so relaxing. Make sure I'm in the camera here. Okay, so I do want to go down a little bit further. So I think I am going to go in right there. And I was telling my mom, I like really don't care what it looks like on the backside. I do, but not really. Let's just face it. I don't really. And so I just went to the next part. And the reason why I don't really care is because when I'm done with all this, I'm going to be putting this on top of a fusible fleece, and that fusible fleece will hide a multitude of flaws underneath. You'll never see this again. And so I don't even look underneath. We're all good. All right, so over here, I am going to go in roughly where I went down. And let's see, where's my thread's coming up on that side. So I want to make sure that I go around that side. Whoopsie. And then bring that up just like that. And then we'll do another one on the other side. So I'm going to turn, I love not having a hoop. When I was trying to mess with the hoop earlier, it was like I couldn't turn things around fast enough for me or something. And mom says the hoops might have been just a little bit big. Uh-oh, I feel like, oh, it's just, okay, see, it's not so bad on the back. I've just got a few threads from my applique this morning. Alrighty, going to go right under there again. All right, and back in, and I will do 2 more so that you can see what I'm doing. And I pulled it too tight. Loosen you up just a little bit. I'm going to go in here, and I know I'm doing that wrong, but I don't care. What? No, my husband's laughing at me. Snickering. Okay, see, I'm trying to explain that anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. Just wait. After I've done this a few, gazillion times, how awesome it's going to look. Okay, so let me finish these up. Come on, you. And then you guys can do them as tight or as loose or as, you could do them on your machine with a straight stitch. You could play. None of this has to be exact. And so this one came up on the other side, or I went down on the other side. And now I'm paranoid that I'm gonna have to rethread that silly needle again. Just get me through 2. Just get me through 2. You can do it. Okay, have a great time. Mom is taking off for a Sweet Adeline's competition this weekend. So, yeah, she's not competing, but they're still going to have some fun. And they need people like her who aren't competing, because then they have volunteers that can run the back stuff. So she's going to be helping to run the back stuff. All right, now. I'm running out of thread. That's my problem. But I can do one more, I swear it. I just have to hold on to that thing so it doesn't go anywhere. Let's see. I came up that side. And then I want to show you. So, oops, I'm just going to do it and then rethread. I want to show you my back stitch because I want to use the back stitch for the antenna of the little butterfly. And then I will put the eyes on and we'll be done for today. And I will continue to work on getting the rest of my hand. I'm not going to use any other stitches than what I'm using right now. My lazy daisy stitch, my running stitch, which obviously needs some work still, and that's okay. But my running stitch and my back stitch. And I'm going to go back and I will knot that better later. Okay, cool. So let me do a little bit of the back stitch right here. I want to get my antenna down because, oh my gosh, they're just so daggone cute. I need to have that. I will probably use the back stitch for his feet as well. Her feet. I like hens better than I like roosters. All right. So for my antenna, I'll come up right maybe. There it goes, right there. And I'm using 2 strands again. A little bit of my thread came up from the back that I had in my bobbin for my thing. So first thing I'm going to do with my back stitch is I'm going to go down just like that. And I'm going to try with my back stitch really hard to keep my stitches as uniform as possible. It's very hard for me yet to, I mean, my daughter has such tiny little itty bitty stitches, and I'm going to go right back down where I had gone down earlier, and then I'm coming right back up in the other, I guess that's why they call it a back stitch, because you're going back where you came from. So now I'm trying to keep that distance just as, and I've got to go up a little bit further and then come back. And then go right into the same, that is the like key right there, is going right in that same hole that you went down. That is so hard. And then I'm going to come up in that same exact spot. Oh, you know what? I need to do a beak. I have no idea what stitch this is that I'm going to create for the beak, but I think I will do that next week. And then I'm coming up in this hole. And going down. And guys, I've only been doing this for a couple months. It's getting better and better every time I do it. And these little projects, you know, that I care about, but they're not like something I'm gonna put in a show or anything like that. So this is preparing me and getting me ready. I didn't quite come up in the same place, so I'm not gonna be happy with that one, but that's okay. They're preparing, you know, for when I do want something that's gonna look really good, which will come, I think. If not, it's still fun to do. All right, a couple more, and that will be one antenna done, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do my eye. I think I'm just going to go ahead and finish it off right there. All right, but you can see how I'm not quite happy with a couple of them that didn't come right up. You really want it to come right up on that same stitch. I am not going to take it out though. Nobody will ever notice. I am just simply going to put my needle back here because I know I want to finish that other one, but I also want to show you how I'm going to do my eye. And so I got a whole bunch of new beads this week because I was starting to run really low on the other ones. And so I have the cutest little beads right here. And when I opened up the thing, they like went flying everywhere. Lainey was laughing. I'm so glad I'm here for his entertainment. But I think that these little beads are just perfect. So they're a little bit smaller than the ones that we had before, so I like that. And I know y'all are asking why am I putting the beads on before I do everything else, and it's like because I need the character. If I don't get this character, I'm gonna go crazy. See, he needs to be looking at me while I'm doing this. That's all there is to it. Much better, much, much, much better. So I'm gonna go, I've gone down, I'm gonna go back up in the center here, and then I'm gonna go on the other side. And I like to do 3 or 4 of them, and I'm going right back down in the same place that I came. And that way it'll hold it down nice and neat. And so let's see. Coming up in the center. And then I'm going to go down that way. Hopefully I'm not gathering my black under there. And you might need to do it 5 or 6 times if you feel like that it's not staying in place like you want it to. Like now I really want it to go here. So it'll hold that side of the bead down. There we go. Now I'm happy. And then I'm just gonna knot it underneath. And so I will probably do the back stitching like I did here over here, get my other bead on there as quickly as possible because, you know, I just can't stand it. They got to be looking at me. That's all there is to it. And then I'm going to add in a few more greeneries so you can sort of see, and I'm going to practice my back stitch to get that done. And then next week, we will put the whole thing together and have our nice little wall hanging. And so I am going to not go back downstairs for a little while. I'm going to sit up here and do some more hand sewing and drink my coffee and pray nobody bothers me so that I can relax and let these shoulders start going down. And I hope you will have a relaxing afternoon as well, or evening, or whenever it is that you are watching this video. Please share, like, subscribe, all that other social media stuff, and let others know that we are here. And next Monday, we will continue our Hanky Challenge. We are working on a flash sale. I think it's going to happen in 2 weeks on April 4th, I believe, is when we have it scheduled. And so start watching for that as well, because we're going to have some great deals and a lot of fun with, I don't know, I think we're doing giveaways and stuff like that too. So we're working on something along those lines. And so stay tuned and we will see you guys on Monday. Have a wonderful afternoon.